Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for another installment of Signature Sundays here on the channel where we take a look at some autographed cards from my sports card collection. Been dipping in and out of autos for a long time now. Don't pick up as many these days as I did maybe 5 or 10 years ago, but I'm always on the lookout for something unique. And today's is one that I just think is one of a kind, or you're certainly not going to see many out there like this. It's not the card in the background. This is a card that I love and that I've shown on the channel before, probably even more than once. One of my favorite hockey cards, just because all 4 subjects were tracked down and signed this card over time. 3 of these guys are Hall of Famers. It's from the 71 Topps hockey set. Features 4 of the best goalies in the game at the time, the wins leaders from the season prior. Tony Esposito has now passed away. He's a Hall of Famer, as is Jerry Cheevers and Ed Jockman here on the right. Ed Johnston is not, but he's in the Hall of Very Good, and he was instrumental in bringing the Stanley Cup to Boston. So I've talked about this one before and how I just think it's a really unique piece, and I can appreciate the amount of effort that went into obtaining all those signatures, presumably at different times over the years, and having all that come together on one card. So recently I stumbled across one that's closely related to that card, and I knew I had to have it. It's the only one I've seen like it. Engaged back and forth with the seller. We were able to settle on a price, and I have what I would kind of consider like the sister card to that fantastic autograph to share with you today. This is my first and so far still only SGC auto in my collection. I don't even know if they do auto authentication anymore. I'm not sure, but this is one that they authenticated back in the day. Check this card out. Your 1971 72 Topps goal leaders in the NHL from the season prior, in 70-71. So these, just like with the goalie card that we looked at earlier, these started off the set with all the leaders from the season prior. Phil Esposito, Johnny Busick, and Bobby Hull. All 3 players on card auto, perfectly placed, all in blue pen. They all look gorgeous. Clearly legible. The guys did an amazing job signing this card. It's graded like a 3.5. I don't even care about the grade. I didn't pay attention to the grade. The card's not mint by any means, but it's not about the card. It's about the autographs and the story here. It's obvious why I would want to pursue this one, having the goalie one in my possession. It's like, these are the best netminders of the day in the early 70s. Here are some of the best offensive players of the day. And I'm just really digging these multiplayer autos on a single card. There's not a ton of opportunity in my experience to snatch these up. Again, it takes a good deal of effort to get these players to sign like this. And I will gladly take a shortcut and just purchase a card that's already slabbed and authenticated with all those autographs like this. And I mean, between these guys, all 3 of these guys scored 550 plus goals each at the NHL level. All 3 are in the top 30 all time in career goals, even now to this day, 50 years later. All 3 of these guys are still within the top 30 all time. They have, between the 3 of them, 8 collective scoring titles, 4 collective MVPs, and 13 times in the history of the league, the NHL, one of these 3 individuals led the league in goals. And that's even including the fact that Bobby Hull played a good portion of his career in the WHA, the latter years of his career, which is something I've talked about in the past as well. Adding to the coolness factor of this one, it is card number 1 in the 71-72 Topps hockey set, which is a very iconic set. So I'm just beyond thrilled to have this card in the collection. This is a unique enough piece that it's just not something you see all the time. It's the only one I've ever seen like it. And I mean, I enjoy all types of cards. If you've been by my channel with any regularity, that's the case with me, maybe even to a flaw. I appreciate everything and I have trouble focusing, but the longer I'm in the hobby and the more years I get behind me, the more I'm trying to dedicate and be disciplined about spending my hobby funds on items that are unique and that you just don't see often. As much as I want a PSA 10 Mike Trout rookie from 2011 Topps Update, I don't feel there's any rush to go and get one of those because although it's an expensive card, there's a ton of them out there. And I feel like I have time to get that later. But when I see something like this surface, as a hockey fan, this gets me giddy. And I was like excitedly checking the mailbox for the arrival of this card for, days on end after I had purchased it. Kind of felt like Ralphie checking for my Little Orphan Annie's secret decoder after school every day. Just that's the kind of card that really moves the needle for me as a hockey fan, getting 3 Hall of Famers like that and 3 premier goal scorers who were among the most dominating of their era. And the first 2 of which won a couple of Stanley Cups for what is now my hometown team, the Boston Bruins. So that's a wrap for today. I'm going to keep this short at 6 minutes, trying to do a better job not gabbing so much at you. But really just wanted to take a few minutes to appreciate this really unique auto. I'm excited to have it in my collection, and I hope you enjoyed taking a look at it here today. If you have any multiplayer autos that you have a story about, would love to hear about them in the comments below. And either way, appreciate you stopping by, and I'll be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, take care and keep enjoying the hobby.